Welcome to a One Take Podcast, episode 213, an impromptu podcast. Maybe our first ever podcast that Dex isn't on because he is gallivanting around, not to like dox him or anything, but I guess he's like tweeting about it. He's like in Peru, like he is abroad. So Tej and I are going to talk about two movies that like three people have seen. But they're two movies that we have, I think, kind of differing opinions on one. But we're doing The End of Oak Street and One Night Only, two of the totally similar movies that we love to do here on the One Take Podcast. But Tej, how you feeling, man? You saw Tony today, right?
I saw Tony last night, and I really enjoyed it. I really like what this Matt Johnson guy is doing. I know that we were all big fans of Blackberry on this podcast, so we have been initiated. But it's such a different movie than Blackberry, but it just works in a lot of ways that it probably shouldn't if it was differently acted or differently directed. The soundtrack fucking rocks. I had a very good time with Tony. Tony was good. It was a good time at the theater.
Matt Johnson's kind of on a roll because I've watched 98% of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. It's on Hulu right now.
I want to watch that now.
It's really good.
I need to tap in.
It's kind of irreverent in the way that, like, in it, a lot of it's like found footage stuff, but you don't need to know. It's very self-referential and meta in the way that I'm trying to think of similar movies. It'll come to me soon, but it's meta in the way that I really, really like. And you don't have to have been a fan of that TV show where they got started, which is called Nirvana, the band, the show was the show. And they just 20 years later have made a movie about it. And it's really, really funny. Hold on. I'm trying to tweet out this episode. So Talking Dinosaurs.
I'm pretty sure that our next Wolverine is in Tony, and no one has
so?
seen it. I think that Leo Woodall. First of all, Sessa is phenomenal in this film, like absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, Antonio Banderas is always phenomenal. There's like 30 minutes of this movie where Leo Woodall is like stealing the movie, and it's his movie, and it is electric. It is everything that I wanted the Bike Riders to be when I pulled up to watch the Bike Riders. If we had Leo Woodall just beating the shit out of people and doing heroin for 30 minutes and the Bike Riders, I would have had a lot more fun with that film.
Well, you know what's funny? It's like he has this sort of, in the stuff that I've seen him in, it's a really kind of interesting actor because he has sort of this like devil may care, mumbly British guy, and obviously he's probably playing an American in Tony. I haven't seen it because you coastal elites again have already seen the movie. It's playing like 3 theaters in Chinatown, and but Leo Woodall, he seems to have really good taste, and he's in two of the best reviewed movies of the year in Tuner and now Tony, which is kind of interesting to say, but he seems to be blown up and people seem to keep casting him in stuff. They really like him, but he has this sort of like, I don't know how to describe it other than sort of this like James Dean-esque, like
James Dean is the comparison that I thought watching Tony. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's James Dean, and he's just fucking crushing it. He does a phenomenal job. It's just I couldn't believe how good Tony was. I knew the trailer looked really good, but you can never know, especially with a biopic. You can never really know what vibes you're getting. And Matt, I really like Matt Johnson, but he's never done something quite like this before. And man, he's got the goods. He crushed it again.
I'm really interested to see what kind of play that gets, especially A24 slow rolling everything like they normally do, but they know how to get it done at this point. What do you want to start first? You want to start first with, again, no one saw these two movies.
One Night Only.
You want to start with One Night Only?
I'm still radiating. from both these movies are really good, in my opinion.
I don't know,
really
Jim.
like both of them.
Two New Yorkers, One Night Only, came out a couple of weeks ago. Rated R, 6.3 on IMDb. Two New Yorkers search for love on the one night of the year when premarital sex is legal. Yes, you heard that right. Written and directed by not written by a guy named Travis Braun, directed by Will Gluck. That is a real name of a director of a movie. You will know that name from such films as Easy A and
Banger.
And what was what was the other?
Anyone But You, banger.
Anyone But You.
Friends with Benefits, banger.
Right. All of them better movies than this. Anyway, Callum Turner's in the movie. Monica Barbero's in the movie. Maya Hawke's in the movie, albeit for like 2 minutes. Yeah, it is. It made no money. And in fact, didn't get reviewed well. I think it has like a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what the budget was, but it so far worldwide only made $14 million. And they will point to this when they put 2 of these out a year out in theaters and be like, see, we told you. And to that, I say, Tej, I guess you're going to disagree. No, make a better movie and people will go see it, because people went and saw Anyone But You, and that made $100 million.
Something. Yeah, it made a lot of money. I will agree that Anyone But You is a better movie than this, but I think it's only better by a little bit. First of all, the premise of this movie really doesn't work. And when you start to think about the premise of this movie for longer than 20 seconds, it immediately falls apart in your brain. So yep. I do get some of the criticism of just this whole making it like The Purge, but with sex, is like a good 5-second pitch in a movie studio. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to make sense in a movie. And so the premise of this movie, when you're dealing with it, is of the worst parts of this movie are when you're dealing and grappling with the premise of this movie. The chemistry between our leads is palpable. From the trailer alone, I knew I was going to see this movie. Well, I like Will Gluck, obviously, but yeah. I knew I was going to see this movie when I saw the trailer, because there's just so much chemistry between Callum and Barbaro. And I just think that they're so fucking phenomenal that I was so caught up in their story and their interactions that I didn't. Once I started to not think about the premise, I started having a really good time. There's enough jokes in the movie. There's a lot of like random cameos from other famous people. You can tell Will Gluck's kind of got some juice out there. He can get a lot of different people on set, even though this movie particularly didn't make a lot of money, but his last one made a ton of money. It was also a better movie than this. But overall, I had a pretty good time with it. I think I would do the way they do the needle drops. They kind of incorporate that into the story, because the main our female lead is like she does jingles, so they have like jingles of all these,
or whatever.
These, basically like songs that you would hear in a 90s rom-com, except for she singing like a version of it that's being used to sell pharmaceuticals. I just think that it was kind of self-referential in a way, and that I enjoyed myself. I do see the flaws in the movie. It's not a perfect time, but it was a good time at the theater. I will say my theater was pretty empty, but I would overall give it like, I don't know, a B+. Like I enjoyed it enough. I don't think it's like top level rom-com. I don't think it comes anywhere near Anyone But You, which I am super, super high on, despite the fact that Sydney Sweeney basically tanked her public relations after she did that film and ruined it for me. But that film is superior. But this film I had a pretty good time with. I would give it a B+.
I mean, like, look, Callum Turner, I think he's fine in the movie. People have like not gone down on him. That's the wrong term, but have like their stock is dropped in Callum Turner. I think he's fine in the movie. Monica Barbero could have chemistry with like anybody. Like she could, yeah. I mean, I believe that she could sell, pharmaceuticals. It's like, I mean, both he and her are so beautiful, and like, regardless of Callum Turner's ears, which they make fun of in the movie, I think, I mean, look, he's Mr. Dua Lipa. Like the game is real. You know what I mean? And I just think that them together is good. They almost charm their way out of it. The premise, the concept, the conceit is so flawed. Yeah. And in fact, problematic in a world where we're rolling back, like, look, not to lib out on this podcast, but in a world where we're like rolling back protections for, let's just say, we're rolling back sexual protections for a lot of people. And we're rolling back rights for a lot of people. To just yada yada. Like, hey, we took away sex from the populace is like the craziest concept that I've ever seen. And I just almost could not get, like, you could make this movie, and this was the review I wrote on Letterboxd. You could like make this movie and call it, there is a movie called this, but you could just call it Valentine's Day or something like that. Take away the huge conceit and just have the exact same setup where they're trying to find love in like two people that can't seem to get it right. And we do this over and over again with rom-com. So they're trying something else. It just seems like they set out to make a different movie with this script. And then like, it does feel like studio interference came in and we're like, no, we got to make this sort of like funny, haha. Like there's a dark comedy in here somewhere along the lines of like Yorgos Lanthimos or something that makes this. Obviously Yorgos is like 10 times the filmmaker that like Will Gluck is, but you know what I'm saying, where it's like somebody gets a hold of this and it's not the zippy zany haha rom-com romp that I think is just a better, it's somewhere in there. And also, not for nothing, stop pandering to the sexless Gen Z. Like stop doing that.
Did you see the quote he had? I hated that. This movie is about the fact that nobody can have sex except for on this night. And then, so in this movie, everyone is having sex, but there's literally no sex in the movie. And that is just a strange choice.
There's just like, they cut away to like 1-2 people, I think, humping in a car or something, but you like can't see anything. There's hardly any nudity.
There's like people having sex like inside of houses, but you see like it's like not put on screen. It's like you see body parts in the air, so you see like someone's leg, but there's not. It's like there's no actual sex on screen in this movie, which is talking about sex the entire time, but is never putting sex on the screen, which is just it just feels weird.
Apparently, they cut it all out. And because it was like it didn't test well with audiences, and we talked about this.
Audiences don't want sex in their movies, and they are pandering to a different audience than us, and they're just flat out wrong. They're just wrong.
I just think, look, I call me old school, but I think you should have sex in your sex comedy. To be completely honest with you, if you were to forgive the entire zaniness of the premise, like, wouldn't people be like just having sex in the street? Like, wouldn't they just be like, you know what I mean? Or is that illegal? I mean, is that still illegal? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's like they tried to present a world in which we're supposed to imply that everybody's having sex in the street, but it's like, God forbid that we show you people having sex in the street. We can't do that. And it just felt like a very weird decision. Yeah, it's
not pandered. It's been roasted on Twitter to oblivion. And in fact, it's become a meme where it's like, somebody tweeted the thing, a whale fall, and it was Austin Abrams getting swallowed by the whale. And he's like, isn't this terrible that this happened to him on the one night a year that you can have sex, legally have sex? And that meme has like gone on and on. But, you know, I just think there's a better movie in here somewhere. I love a rom-com. I will always go to the theater for a rom-com, especially with likable leads. Monica Barbero is Oscar nominated. Like, you know, she's just on the verge of being a superstar, I think. And Callum Turner is still trying to make, you know, people, I think, no, he's more famous for being Callum Turner than I think for being an actor at this point. And
I'm not into the Dua Lipa algorithm. A very attractive woman, but that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge about Dua Lipa. So I wasn't aware that he was dating her. I knew that women found him, and like white women specifically find him very attractive. And I can see how he's a very attractive guy, but having be removed from the Callum Turner-ness of it just allowed me to kind of have fun with what him and Barbara were doing on screen, and I thought I was able to do that.
Well, and it's like, did you watch the movie Eternity with he and Miles Teller?
No, I did not.
It's on Apple. I would give it a watch. I think he's very, very good at doing like the specific charming guy thing, and that's why it's like he was sort of kind of in the running for being the next James Bond. I don't think that's going to happen.
He runs really funny in this film. He's not James Bond. Like some of the running scenes, it's like you need to go to the Tom Cruise school of running, brother. You are not crushing it. He did not look like, I thought his performance was good, but it did not feel like he was James Bond to me at any point during this film. It just, that was not the vibes.
I should add, like, we get really funny performances from Molly Ringwald as like a sight gag, almost having her in the movie, but LeVar Burton also, that's really funny.
Megan Fox shows up.
Does she? No, it's not Megan Fox.
What's the one from? No, sorry, Julia Fox.
Julia Fox, yeah, she shows up, which is also sort of a sight gag. Like they know Will Gluck knows what he's doing with that, and I just
There's
think
a Glenn. What's his name? Glenn.
there's a Glenn Powell and
there's a
Sydney
Glenn Powell
Sweeney
gag.
gag.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, and then you also have Pete Davidson's in the movie too.
Yeah, which I mean, look, I just think I keep saying it, but there's just a better movie in here somewhere, and I just kind of left wanting more, if not to have like I wasn't offended by the premise. People are like up in arms, but I am like, you can't have the premise, and they sort of pseudo address it in like news clippings on like CNN or whatever when she's like eating egg rolls in the Chinese restaurant.
They yada yada all that shit.
They yada all of it.
They're not interested in the political ramifications of the government telling people when they can have sex. They're really not interested in all that. All that stuff is just kind of waved off.
Yeah, and in fact, they try to like address it with the police officer when she gets sort of detained, and she well, how do you sleep at night? And it's just like trying to put food on that sort of thing, and it's just like no, it's just not working. None of that works. I gave it a C-. I just think
you were not feeling it.
I was not feeling it. I laughed a little bit, but I left it and I was just I don't know, man. I just needed more. I needed or something. I can't even because it's like you shouldn't be thinking about a rom-com like this much, especially a Will Gluck rom-com. Like I think, Friends with Benefits and One Night Only are like the platonic ideal of maybe like a Will Gluck rom-com. Easy A is elevated in a sense, mostly because of Emma Stone's performance, but like even that is its own sort of thing. The platonic ideal, I think, of that is like Friends with Benefits and like, Anyone But You. And I just think this doesn't live up to the standard, quote unquote, of those movies, and it's just not as fun either as those two.
Do you think that our two leads had more chemistry or less chemistry than Sydney Sweeney and Glenn and Anyone But You? I know that you think Anyone But You is a better movie.
That's funny. I think they may have better chemistry in this, but that's just because I think that like. Not for nothing, Monica Barbero is like 10 times the actor, I think, than Sydney Sweeney is. And like Glenn Powell and, Callum Turner take it or leave it. Like, but I will say that Powell and Sweeney sold that shit to the masses.
Yeah.
Like on the press tour and everything else. But I think in the movie proper, I think, like I said, Monica Barbero could have like chemistry with, a fence post. But
what else has Monica Barbero been in? I thought she was really good in this movie.
She's in Top Gun. She got Oscar nominated for A Complete Unknown. She was in
that movie was a snooze fest.
Hey man, I
like Timmy and I like Monica. That movie is a complete snooze fest.
What was she in recently? She was also in your favorite movie of all time. She was in Crime 101 recently.
Oh shit, she was in Crime 101.
Yeah, nothing role, but like she has chemistry with Chris Hemsworth, who has given the weirdest performance of all time. like just kind of the weird guy performance, but she's making it work because she's a good actress and obviously beautiful. But like I think it's, I don't know. Will I watch this movie again? You know what? Maybe.
Yes, bro. We have real chemistry between the two people. And I know you're just saying like, oh, that's just because Monica, she's amazing. I thought the two of them were doing something. It made me feel like there's the movie kind of culminates in a pizza parlor because he owns a pizza parlor. Culminates there. And that some of that stuff's in the trailer. That was the best scene. Some of that stuff's in the trailer. And even still, even knowing that scene was coming, when she walks to that pizza place, my heart was beating so fast. I was just like, the chemistry between these two people is just dripping off the screen, and that is like 80% of the way to get me there for a rom-com is to make me invested in these people's story. I also think the ending is kind of like cutesy, like they don't actually have
I don't
sex.
like the ending. I don't like it.
Which is a decision, and then they kind of do a flash forward to a year later. Now they're like making jokes, but now they're going to have sex. I was like, okay, it's like too cute by half for me. So I didn't love the ending, but overall, I had a really good time as they kind of went through these misadventures of trying to hook up with other people first, and they really need condoms. And there's like a very massive Durex sponsorship of this movie because they have to keep going to empty Durex parts of stores to try to find condoms, and they only can find one condom.
That is a good gag.
I like that gag. It also helps pay for your movie, which only made $14 million, so you needed every cent to pay for it.
Shout out to when's the last time somebody thought of Durex? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like we got like the third or fourth leading condom maker, and we made them the only people that can sell condoms in this new regime of sex being criminalized. They probably made a lot of money by being the only condoms on the market. They probably made a shitload of money.
Yeah, I do not like the ending. That was the other thing that I meant to say. It's just like, so you do this whole thing. It's such a small C. It's such a small C conservative ending. Like that you're just like, we're going to wait to have sex. You know what I mean? Like, really? You're going to wait, you're going to wait the full year. And then Amanda Dobbins had a really good point on their podcast about this on The Big Picture, where she was like, and then they like have a cutesy conversation about it.
Yeah,
when it happens,
ripping each other's clothes off. Like when it's time, they're like, "Oh, we're still making jokes like it's just a regular day." Like, and it's like, no, this tension should have been building up over a year, and by the time the clock struck, y'all should have been already naked and already
ready to go,
getting to where you got to get to. So that I agree with her on that. I thought that was weird.
I get I get the conceit. People are gonna be mad at me. I get the conceit of wanting to know your partner, obviously, before you get, you engage with them, obviously, and like having a deeper connection than just sex and so and so. But it's like, again, it's the sexless sex movie. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
That part is just a super strange decision. And, Will Gluck strikes me as somebody, especially coming off of Anyone But You, that kind of had his finger on the pulse of how to do this. There's no sex in Anyone But You, but it feels less. It feels like a sexier
There's more in
movie.
it. There's more in it than this. They get naked in the shower. You know what I mean? Like,
it feels like a sexier movie. It feels like the chemistry between the two leads is hotter and sexier. Like they're closer to sex than these people. I don't know which couple I think had more chemistry, but it just totally fell out of the blue that there's such little kind of sexual overtones and sex in this movie in general, just because it's a movie. It's literally a sex comedy. So, a super weird decision. And obviously the movie didn't work for people. Obviously people didn't go see it. It doesn't seem like a movie that's going to have a big streaming life either. It doesn't strike me as like people are going to go find this. I obviously think that I liked it more than other people, but it seems like, just generally speaking, this didn't really work for people. And I wonder what that does for Will Gluck going forward. And also these two leads that I think were very, very good in this movie. And I actually made me want to see both of them in more stuff.
He'll be fine. I mean, will he direct another rom-com? Who knows? Like, I don't know what's his upcoming project. Treasure Squad. It's a TV series. I don't know what that is, but he's made three of the or not three. He's made, we'll call it three of the better rom-coms since 2010. You know what I mean? If you want to consider Easy A rom-com, but he's made the kind of three of the 10 good rom-coms of the past 15 years.
Yeah, he's not like there's a lot of people in his lane. So I don't think he's going to leave that lane just because he's kind of alone in it at this point.
Yeah, and outside of that, he directed the Annie remake. He directed a Peter Rabbit movie, which I'm sure made 2 Peter Rabbit movies, which I'm for certain we will be shocked at how much money those movies made. Probably $200 million. Hold on. I just want to see. Oh my God. The first Peter Rabbit movie, which is like, I'm sure a movie people saw, made $351 million.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like he's fine. Will Gluck is doing okay. What that I do think, and maybe it's unfair, but I am interested in seeing what this does for the rom-com thing as a whole. Because like they're still pumping those out on Netflix to varying degrees of success. But this is a movie made in New York, on on scene at New York, in real places. Like I like the voicemails from Isabel Netflix rom-com that came out a few weeks ago, but like you can tell they're not in San Francisco, and in fact they like green screen the Golden Gate Bridge, and I don't know.
I don't think they actually filmed this movie in New York. I think from the podcast I heard, the true New Yorkers could easily tell that this wasn't filmed in New York, and they were. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I mean, Toronto is like the double for New York. I'm like, it says filming locations, New York City, New York.
Okay, they must have done it in New York.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I don't know what this does for the rom-com thing as a whole. And this is where I do wish we had Dexa, because he's almost like we all love rom-coms actually on this podcast, but he's like super, I think he had on his top 4 that he just sent us, like I'm pretty sure he had like 3 rom-coms on there. But I what this does for rom-coms in general, I don't know. What do we do? Because we're left with a generation that like Gen Z and even Gen Alpha, like they go to, I guess like horror movies and Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like what
basically,
where are we with this? I don't know. Like I don't have the answer. I wish I did. I wish I was smarter.
It would be nice to get more rom-coms that were not just like streamer slop, but it does not feel like it feels like every time we have a rom-com come out in theaters and we do a theatrical run and then it's like it doesn't work, it starts to feel like shit. Are we going to be able to put these in theaters? But
it reboots the discourse that I'm like going into, but like it felt like people were starving for them, because maybe it was just that Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney had the heat at that exact time, because Anyone But You made $220 million.
Yeah, and it's good. I was higher on that than most people too. I just thought it was I thought it was incredible. I thought it was electric. My feelings about Sydney Sweeney are a lot more complicated than they were on the day I saw this film, but I thought it was electric, and I totally understood why people were flocking to go see it. But I do think as well, it kind of caught 2 people kind of at the height of their stardom, or the heights that we've seen them at. Glenn coming off of Top Gun and coming off what he was trying to do was hotter than he is now. And it's not that he's done anything wrong, but he's just less focal, less center than he is not than he was at that time. And
he got overexposed.
And Sydney Sweeney, obviously, mostly through her own fault, I think people feel just very differently towards her than they did when that movie came out. And if that movie came out and if these movies came out in reverse order, maybe the Sydney Sweeney thing doesn't hit quite the same, just because I think she's a much more, let's say, controversial someone to support than she was, 2 years ago. But it's just the timing of these things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see where they put that. This is was this like a Universal movie? What was that? Who owns this? I can't even remember. I can't even recall.
$14 million is a very small amount of money, man. That's not getting it done. That's good.
I will say, for as much as I didn't like it that much, like you can have a worse time at the theater. I would just say it is Universal, so I guess this will be on like, what do you call it? I guess this will be on Peacock. But you could have a worse time at the theater if you were looking for something to go see. I'd suggest you go see The End of Oak Street, which we'll talk about here in a second. But like,
I would say the same thing. I would, or Tony. Both those movies are better than One Night Only.
But if you were looking for a date night movie and you're like, it's still playing in theaters, so like you can go out there, and they're trying to milk any sort of residual money that they can out of this. So I would just say you could do worse, but like I just feel like yada yada's too many problems, that like too many things in the movie. Anyway, you want to talk about the better movie?
Yeah, we could talk about the end of Oak Street, man. What a time.
The end of Oak Street, man. PG-13, 6.6. The Platt family bands together to navigate their surroundings after a cosmic event transports their suburban neighborhood to someplace unknown. Written and directed by David Robert Mitchell, who you would know from It Follows. Some would know from Under the Silver Lake, which, Teej, I remember you saying you don't like. I don't think.
Wasn't into it.
Yeah, and stars Anne Hathaway, who's in literally, I think, 6 movies this year. Like, golly. Ewan McGregor, Macy Stella, and Christian Convery are the sort of mains. Jordan Alexa Davis, PJ Byrne have recurring roles, but it also didn't do super well. I think it's going to end up, if they just keep it in theaters, I think it's going to end up making its money back. But $85 million budget, it's gross 72 million worldwide. But people, critics, and I think audiences really like it. It's like 86% on Rotten Tomatoes or something from critics, maybe a little bit lower from audiences. The ending may have something to do with that. 77 from audiences. But man, this movie, to me, it rocked. This is the best theater experience outside of the Odyssey and maybe Spider-Man that I've had. And in fact, I may have had more fun with this than I did with Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was kind of a downer when you go back and you look at it. But like this was so much fun. People are saying, and they're using it in the marketing, the best dinosaur movie since 1995 or whenever the original Jurassic Park came out. And I would tend to agree.
And I think that's true, which is, it feels like a lofty thing to say, but then you see it, and I mean, I think that's true.
Look, okay. Somebody said it's a what did the big picture call it? It's a not X-Files is the wrong word. I wish I knew.
Oh no, the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it's a Twilight Zone movie. Like taking regular people and putting them in irregular situations because of science and stuff, or horrors beyond our comprehension. And this is the movie that I think one of the Jurassic Worlds was supposed to be. And it follows up on that premise. And I tweeted, nobody will remember this, but at the end of Jurassic World 2, they like released the dinosaurs into the world.
Yep.
And
that was a way to set up the end of the trilogy.
And then they just don't follow up on that premise whatsoever. They're just like actually
nobody liked that movie, so they had to scramble.
They had to scramble and put all the older actors back in it, and they went back to an island. It was those movies are trash, and but this follows up on that premise in a way that I think is so good, because it's like, what would you do if dinosaurs were still roaming? Die. Like, it's just like, it's so visceral in that way, and it's pretty bleak. It's like really pushing that PG-13 rating.
Yeah, I had a rare experience of going into this movie without having seen a trailer. I knew it was a dinosaur movie, but that's kind of all I knew. And I love, being someone who's always at the movies and just obsessed with trailers. It's very rare that I get to do it, but I get to do it a couple times a year. And so I had no idea what kind of movie we were going to make. I knew it was PG-13, but I was like, okay, is this like a family-friendly kind of movie or no? First of all, the way that they build when you haven't seen the dinosaurs yet, it's like I noticed it's got like a very, very traditional score, like a very, very traditional something's coming for us score that you could take from any movie in the 70s or 80s. It drops it into this movie, and then before you see the dinosaurs, they do such a good job of the way that they build it up in a very traditional sense, in the same way you see it done in the Spielberg movies, in the same way you see it done in Jaws. They're withholding this thing from you, but they know they have to give it to you. And so the way that they show the buildup, I just thought that was great. But I had no idea how violent we were going to get. And then in the first attack, you realize this is a violent movie. Like, it's not a bloody movie, but it's a violent movie.
Scary.
It is scary. It is. I had a friend of mine that took his 11-year-old. It was like, we had a good time. Probably wasn't the movie for an 11-year-old. Pretty violent shit going on, but a very, very fun time. I like the setup of it. I like the kind of Twilight Zone nature of it. Of these dinosaurs are basically terrorizing a neighborhood, and so they're kind of, you kind of know some of the neighbors, and you get to see what happens to some of the neighbors, so that we can avoid, we can keep our cast around for long enough, and then we do actually get rid of one of our cast members. Spoiler alert, which was a complete shock to me.
Oh my God!
I did not know that we were going there. And then we kind of do some funny stuff at the end. But generally speaking, I had a great time. The dinosaurs look really great. They're also really fast. And that makes everything scarier just because of how fast they're moving and how fast they are in comparison to whatever unlucky humans happen to be outside at the time, or dogs that happen to be outside at the time.
The folks that keep going outside of their house too, by the way.
Just insane. Great action sequences. I just think Anne Hathaway's throwing 1,000,000 miles an hour in this movie.
Unbelievable.
She's incredible. And Ewan McGregor is also in the movie. He's just there being Ewan McGregor. I didn't love his performance, but Anne Hathaway's doing the heavy lifting, and we are in more than credible hands in her stead. I've had a really, really good time with this film.
Yeah, I think my main complaint of it, like, I love Ewan McGregor as a performer. It's Obi-Wan, man. Like, he's awesome in most of the things that he's in. He is like really struggling with that accent too in this movie.
I totally agree.
And it's just like his performance. It's so like kind of out of place in this movie where everyone's sort of like terrified. I don't know. It does a good enough job of facilitating his character, but you said like Anne Hathaway is like benching 350 pounds, man.
She is fucking cooking in this shit.
Throwing it up. And like, I think she's awesome. And it's interesting that this is sort of one of the first of these performances in her career, horror adjacent sort of distress performances.
Kind of crazy to even think that this is one of her first performances like this, but it is. And she's just flexing every muscle and obviously she's got 1 million movies coming out. She's very busy right now, and she's just fucking great. And people just like when Anne Hathaway shows up and stuff. So to have her leading this thing is just a totally phenomenal choice. It's just out of this world casting, and they completely body this. They understood what they were making, and they made it. And it's just a really, really fun time. Maybe not for an 11-year-old, but 13 and 14-year-olds will be perfectly fine seeing this movie. And there have not been very many good dinosaur movies since Jurassic Park, including within the Jurassic Park franchise. Yeah, I think this is easily the best one. This was rendered very well, but to be able to even say that is not a small thing. That's a huge fucking deal. Jurassic Park is one of the most important movies to ever exist, and so to have something else in the dinosaur genre that lives anywhere in the same neighborhood as Jurassic Park is a big achievement.
Well, look, and you can feel J.J. Abrams is a producer on this, and you can feel J.J. Abrams has been trying. Look, you should try to emulate Spielberg, but he's been trying to emulate Spielberg for his entire career. Yeah. And you can feel it is so Spielbergian that it's just oozing out of the screen. And it's sort of the best Spielberg. J.J. Abrams made a movie in like 2011 called like Super 8, which is a basically Spielberg clone copy. But it's sort of the best Spielberg adaptation since that. And it's the best, early Spielberg, since Spielberg. And I think it has more in common with obviously there's, Close Encounters of the Third Kind is like on its mind with the family falling apart thing. A drunk dad who's out of a job and kind of losing, the mom losing her mind a little bit and like maybe wanting to leave the family. Like that's all there. That's all in the sauce. And it's pretty, obviously blatant. They talk about it in the movie, but especially with like just how it's filmed, the kids being not inept, basically. They handle themselves. They get themselves into dire situations that save a dog, which is stupid.
He literally risked the entire family's life and lost his father because specifically he wanted to go save this dog that was alive and didn't need his help.
Yeah.
Actually, he needed the dog's help in the end.
Right.
Like, it's like you just completely bad, but you knew he was going to make it the whole time because he kept asking about the damn dog at the worst possible times. He knew it was going to happen, and of course it happened.
Yeah, this is more. I mean, they kill a cat in the movie. You see that,
They
but
do.
this is more unforgiving to humans than it is to the animals in this movie. Like they're just dead people scattered throughout the neighborhood, like dead kids. It's a violent movie, and no, I just think it has a lot on its mind. I do think if you really wanted to pick at it about sort of the standoff NIMBYism nature of like it's not like the rah Reagan era. It's the like sort of like Cold War Reagan era, if you want to look at it. Like really like in so much so as their neighbor character, you know, he has a gun and he's like not like standing on his roof trying to shoot at the pterodactyls and stuff that are coming to get him.
They fucked his ass up on that roof. And everybody in this movie should have stayed off of roofs. Bad things happen when
bad things
going up on roofs.
And it's just it really wrong foots you in a lot of things that it's trying to do. We'll talk about the ending here in a second. One of those wrong footings, spoiler alert, because I know not everyone has seen this movie, and Teach hinted at it a little bit. So big spoiler alert. It is one of the biggest like switch flipping moments in a theater that I've had in forever. They kill Ewan McGregor in the middle of this movie.
I was legitimately shocked when the scene happened. I did not see that coming at all. I was like, okay, we're in some danger to kind of fight him off, and it was like, oh shit, Ewan McGregor is being mauled. Oh shit.
He gets his leg bitten off and then eaten, and Anne Hathaway has to like walk away because that's what you have to do. Like you're just like, we gotta go, like you know what I mean?
Holy shit,
it is the biggest. I don't even know what to say, like turning point in a movie that I've seen in forever. And everyone in the theater went like, oh my God. Like I might have even said like, oh my, yeah, it was the biggest, oh my God moment that I've seen in a movie in forever. Now people have had this complaint and I think it's interesting because they don't stick with it at the end. And this kind of feels like a studio note, but like, so they get out of the nether dimension that they've been transported to, which is another bait and switch moment because when he tries to jump through the portal and it misses and like
that was so funny, man.
And like breaks his leg. I thought that was really funny.
I thought that was really funny. He got fucked up. I was like, oh shit!
Jumps off the roof of a house. It's really funny. But anyway, so they get back from the nether region and she chooses to like save a select few people that like listen to her when she calls them on the phone, but they go back. The spoiler alert is they go back to right before the event happens, and she tries to like save all the people basically that she's friends with, which is kind of funny, and the dickhead neighbor. But she calls and brings Ewan McGregor back. And so the family is reunited. They save their marriage, probably trauma bond. But like, anyway, they like save their marriage. And then the movie sort of wraps up in sort of this neat bow. She becomes a best-selling author. Obviously, they're all famous now. She saves these people. But people had the complaint that they weren't like ballsy enough to follow through with the Ewan McGregor thing in the second act into the third act and just leave it as it is. I think the ending is much darker than people are giving it credit for. She saves Ewan McGregor. We know that the girl that they saved in the movie gets the other version of her parents and herself out of being transported. Yeah. So there's two versions of the same girl.
Version of her. Yeah.
She doesn't save her family. The other versions of her family are just gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like
she basically sacrificed the other versions of themselves so that they could steal their dad. That's basically what she did.
Yeah. And I think people are missing that. I really think people have just missed that. And I'm like, wait, guys, this is a much darker ending than I think we're like really giving it credit for. Now, like I said, it presents in wrapping up in such a neat bow that you're like, oh, okay, sure. Like family reunited sort of thing. Is it? I don't know. What did you think?
My first thought was that before I thought about that, my first thought was, are we setting up for a sequel? Because you see that the dinosaurs have now come to the original dimension. Like the dinosaurs are now there because basically what was happening was
It
like
swaps. Yeah.
a piece of the neighborhood was swapping out, and that piece of the neighborhood goes back in time, but then it replaces it with prehistoric times that kind of switch places. And so now the dinosaurs are back in the original, but then they just showed like the military calmly cleaning up the dinosaurs and killing all the dinosaurs.
Kind of like they did in Jurassic Park.
Basically like Jurassic Park. And so all of a sudden you see the military that's basically killing all the dinosaurs. And so I was like, okay, not a sequel. But then I was like, wait, what happened to the other? I realized there were two versions of the family. And so I was like, okay, so now we have our dad. And so we kind of got rid of the dad being killed, but we just basically yada yada the fact that the other versions of the family died when the dinosaurs got there because she didn't save them. She only saved the dad, who was not at home at the time. So the dad couldn't tell them, hey, there's something going on. Like we're not safe. They didn't tell the dad what was going on until he showed up at the thing. Specifically, I guess, so he wouldn't tell the family. I thought that was a little weird. I thought it's just weird. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
And so like now we're one big happy family, but no, you killed the other version of my family that I was actually, you know what I mean? I think it's a pretty dark ending once you really like dig down into it. Now, did he have that on his mind when he made it? I don't know, but you know, that's how it presents.
I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think they were just trying to wrap it up in a bow and give people the happy ending, and probably the studio wanted them to do that. I think I think they were thinking about way more about that than about what the implications are the other part of the family.
You're probably right, but like and that's probably the charitable reading of it. But I'm also like, well, Jesus, like we don't address that at all. Because there is like another version of the girl that they saved. And I found that to be completely, I found that to be really interesting, if threatening to be baffling. But I thought it was, I thought it was a better ending than what people were giving it credit for.
Were you annoyed with the son? I saw a lot of people that were saying they were annoyed with the son, not the performance, but the action, just the way the character was written in terms of, he's kind of a kid, kind of whiny, kind of like making bad decisions. And it's like all these kind of movies have that.
Tale as old as time.
When there's a kid, there's always a dumb kid. Like the kids are not just going to be the smartest fucking kids you've ever seen. It's way more likely, especially when we talk about in the 90s and 2000s, where the kids are the dumbest dumb fucks ever, that it's going to drive plot. And that's kind of what the son was doing a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally to like put them in more peril, is to like get,
we got to get them back outside for some reason, because they should not fucking be back outside until they run out of food, and not a second before. Not 1 second before am I going back outside.
Yeah, not at all. And it's like they have like one gun, you know what I mean? Like I find, yeah, it was fine. Like I think both the performances. I like that actress that plays the daughter. She was in a movie called My Old Ass, which is a really good movie. But I think she's good, but take it or leave it. I like to complain about dumb kids in movies is like, well, we'd have to go back to the beginning of time. There's always kids doing stupid stuff like sneaking out, like don't go outside. It's the whole thing. The thesis of the movie is don't go outside.
Yeah, sometimes you literally need a kid to make a dumb decision to get your plot going to where you need it to go. Well, it's a good literary device, because kids are fucking stupid, and people will believe, oh yeah, this is a stupid thing to do, but it's a fucking stupid teenager, and I think that they're stupid in real life anyway, so it works.
Well, yeah, and then it's funny because they don't, they kind of don't even have to do it, because then that big snake thing, which I thought was an incredible,
comes into the house. That was so fucking cool.
Yeah, it was like that. That made my skin crawl. So yeah, that was an incredible set piece. No, I just think this movie is really, really good, and I wish people gave it a more shot. There was this weird.
What have they made? What's their business have been like? I don't know anything about the business.
I said it earlier. Is $72 million worldwide.
I'm sorry, they always paid their money back.
Yeah, on like an $85 million budget. I just think
it also looks really good. The dinosaurs look really good, man.
Yeah, this isn't $100 million movie. You know what I mean? Like those Jurassic World movies. Yeah, those Jurassic World movies, it cost like $250 million to make.
Yeah, like, stink.
Yeah, like no thanks. I would take 10 of these over everything, all the Jurassic World shit that they have pumped out since I like the first Jurassic World. It's literally a remake of Jurassic Park, but like I just think
It's fine.
it Force Awakens itself in that way, but like I think it's fine. The subsequent movies, all of them, the past I guess it's been 3 that they put out since then, are kind of bad.
People like the ScarJo one. I don't know why.
I thought it was fine when I watched it in the theater. Now going back and looking at it, I'm like, it's kind of nothing. This has more guts than that movie does, bar none, because they just like Mahershala Ali sacrifices himself and then comes back.
That guy could have been making Blade and said he was making a shitty Jurassic World movie. Or Jurassic, whatever the new reboots are called.
It was literally called Jurassic World Rebirth.
Wasn't that the same same year as the Planet of the Apes reboot as well? Weren't those in the same year? I think they were.
They're about 1 year removed from each other.
I'm low on both of those. I'm low on the current status of both of those franchises. I'm very low on where we're at.
I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is leagues better than that last Jurassic World movie. I
didn't fuck with both of them. Some people liked. A lot more people did like the Planet of the Apes one. It seemed like people were mixed on the Jurassic Park one, but I just.
No, I found this movie. I keep saying it. I found it to be a delight in the theater. I think it's some of the most fun that, like, seriously, it's still out there. Go see it. It is some of the most fun that I've had in the movie theater in a really, really long time. Just like pure popcorn fun. This is it. This is what you go to the movies for. This movie right here. That's what I would say. Shorter episode again because we don't have Dex, but like Tej, you talked about Tony. What else? I don't even know. Did we give this a grade? I gave Into Vogue Street an A.
I would give it an A as well. It's a very good time. I would recommend it, and I think it's one of those that when it hits streaming too, I think people are gonna hear about it, and it's a good way. It's like a zippy. It's like an hour and a half, hour 40. Yeah. It's like it's a fun time, and I think as we get to streaming, more people will find it. I would highly recommend it.
I think people are gonna appreciate this movie the further we get away from it. Unfortunately, I'm glad it was made. What else have you been watching? Because you talked about Tony. Because I got to talk about a movie I watched last night, and I want to talk about it more with Dex.
You finally watched The Furious.
Dude.
Oh man, that movie is so much fucking fun, y'all. If y'all haven't seen The Furious, please go see that shit. That shit is so much fucking fun, man. I gotta rewatch The Furious. Where's it streaming? Where's it even at?
Bootleg.com.
Oh, you bootlegged it. Okay, well it's and you probably got a sub copy as opposed to the dub that was in theaters. This dub stinks. But that's the only
no, I think I got the dubbed one, which they were going back and forth between.
Yeah, they speak some of the language in the movie, but that I want a fully sub copy because that was my other criticism of that film. Otherwise, it's perfect.
Is there one? I think they just made it that way.
Oh, maybe it is. It felt like it was dubbed. I hope if there is a sub copy, I would love that as opposed to the dub version.
Well, it's like Joe Taslim, I think is his name, is speaking English. Like he is a fluent English speaker. So he's speaking English throughout the movie. But there is definitely like, I think they dubbed over like people trying to speak English as well too. Like, because you can see their mouth moving and forming the words in English, but it's like clearly a dubbed English speaker over some of the people trying to speak English in the movie.
Exactly.
That being said, what the fuck, dude? Holy shit. That movie rocks. That movie is hell yeah, brother. Like I don't know what to say other than like I don't know. It's probably the best action movie in like the last like 10 years.
That shit goes incredible. That chase scene where he's got to chase the truck and they keep knocking him off the truck. That shit,
flip flops, yeah.
That shit literally had me on the edge of my seat. Love The Furious, and then the kind of gag they do at the end where they bring back the guy who is like seemingly indestructible. They bring him back, and it's just like a battle royale where everybody's kind of fighting everybody. They just
it's like a cage match at the end of the movie. Yeah.
They bodied the fuck out of that film.
Oh my god, dude! It's like everybody's fighting everybody, and it's like he doesn't know who he's supposed to be fighting, and he's trying to kill both of them. I was like, they brought in Stone Cold from outside the ring. That was crazy. He literally runs in. Like, I mean, it is. Look, it is. Everything's a derivative of the Raid since that movie came out. I guess
the Raid happened.
But, yeah, but I found this because I watched the Raid finally last night and this morning. Hell yeah, brother, too. That movie rocks. But like everything is a derivative of the Raid. But also, I found this to be way more inventive and fun, maybe even than the Raid. And I just think this movie is a 5-star bona fide classic. I think this is going to go down like, and in fact, it's so much a derivative of the Raid that 2 of the actors in the Raid are in the movie having a one-on-one brawl that like where they kill each other in the movie, and they also like kill each other in the Raid, basically. So like it's literally shaking hands with the Raid. But I just think this movie was really, really. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe some of the stuff that I was saying. I don't know how they made it.
Those fight scenes are fucking phenomenal. Everything just looks incredible.
They put those dudes through hell.
Yeah, it looked like a very hard movie to film. Let's just say it that way. It did not. Yeah. It did not look like there was some sore. People had to put the ice packs on at the end of those filming days. I haven't really been watching.
Union rules be damned. Whatever they're doing in Thailand, wherever they made that movie. You know what I mean? Like they don't give a shit. They were knocking the hell out.
I hope a lot more people see the Furious, and it is. Trust me, if you like action movies even slightly, if you want to see, if you have any interest in seeing a movie that's kind of like The Raid, and you like The Raid, you're gonna fucking love this film.
So it's so good.
Go find it, seek it out.
Yeah, you can rent it now. I should have like paid the money to rent it, but it was. I think it's like $9.99 on Amazon right now or something like that. So you can find it. But it is also on bootleg.com. But no, I just that and I watched The Raid. Think of some other stuff that I watched. We watched Caitlin and I like binged a show called Sterling Point, which is another one of those Amazon teen romance shows, but it's elevated by some pretty good performances, and it's written and directed by Megan Park, who has done 2 movies that I really like, called The Fallout and, like I said, My Old Ass, which is on Amazon. You can watch it right now. Those movies are really good. She's a really funny. She really captures teenage angst and anxiety in a way that I don't think has been done in a long time, and she really has her pulse on Gen Z and Gen Alpha in a way that I think is really refreshing. I think she's like our age basically, but she is a really funny writer, and I think that like I like what she's doing, and so that Sterling Point show was pretty good, pretty elevated in a way that a lot of those aren't. It's ridiculous, but it's also pretty good fun when you look at it that way. Also watching Lanterns.
Yeah, Lanterns is awesome. I'm also watching Lanterns. I also finished the new season of King of the Hill. Again, great season. They just keep crushing it. Every year they're going to do that. I'm there. I'm just going to be there. Every year we keep making more seasons of King of the Hill. One of my favorite shows of all time. And I'm going to start. What the hell do you call the Hulu serial killer show? It's not called The Furious. I think it's just called Furious. It's called
Furious,
something.
yeah.
Furious, yeah. I'm going to start that here pretty soon. But
people have been talking about what is a serial killer? What is this?
All I know is that it's a female serial killer.
Oh.
That's what the show is about. It's a woman serial killer.
Oh, Emmy Rossum. Okay. Interesting.
That's all I know.
All right. People seem to like it. 7.7 on IMDb. I watched, speaking of, Kung Fu movies, I watched Karate Kid 2 because it was on the rewatchables.
Nice.
That movie stinks, Steve.
It's bad.
Oof. Big oof on that. I don't.
That sequel check was too big for everybody to turn down, and they didn't have a movie. And
it is not good. And in fact, it's kind of like offensive. Like it's like once you go back and watch it, obviously, like I don't want to again lib out on this podcast, but they're really playing into the stereotype in that movie. I just don't think Like
Not very good.
Karate Kid 1 forever, but like Karate Kid 2, eesh. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Like, what do we? Real quick, do you want to give your takes on House of the Dragon? And no, Dex isn't here.
House of the Dragon, good season. We're not gonna ever reach the highs of season 1 for me, but I thought season 2 was pretty good, except for the way they ended it, and I thought season 3 was pretty good. I'm just in. I understand the criticisms, and I'm just riding this thing out. I don't really have a team to root for in this show anymore. Team Black is just as nasty as Team Green. Rhaenyra is no longer my queen, so I'm just, watching all the crash outs and knowing that the bad things are going to happen for everybody involved. And I just hope that everybody has fun while we're doing it. But I enjoyed this season of House of the Dragons. I'm sad that we got to wait another 2 years, but I'll be there.
Yeah, y'all have fun with that.
I'm
like 5.
I wouldn't say someone has to watch it, even if they like Game of Thrones. But for what it is, I've been enjoying it. But I think I'm just generally higher on the show than most people, despite the fact that it does have its flaws.
Wait, do you want to sell me on Lioness?
Dude, that's the best show on TV. I hate to say this because of the political stances of the show at times. And it's like very much
Taylor Sheridan having bad politics. What
exactly, and it's like very much a military propaganda vehicle, like very much so. But there's nobody making shit like Taylor Sheridan. That show is electric. The cast is so fucking good, and they put them in the most extreme, insane situations, and they're able to keep playing these tricks on you and to keep on throwing surprises at you as the viewer 3 seasons in. I'm having a great time. This season might be their best season, and I fucking love the first 2 seasons of this show. I can't get enough of it. It's lowest common denominator entertainment television, but it fucking rocks. I'm sorry. It's great, guys. It's the best show on TV right now.
I think I might boot it up after we get off this call, actually. I think I might finally give it a go because I have look, I'm a Sheridan.
That first season is legitimately insane television. Like you're in for some shit.
I'm a Sheridan truther. All of his films have been watchable, and in fact, those first 3 films are like top 10 in my book. And like Wind River, Sicario, and Hell or High Water are like.
You want him to go back to being a grown up and making films?
Yeah, go back to fucking making movies.
Sicario's fucking awesome.
Peter Pan, like, you know what I mean? But he got the check, and it's like he got the Yellowstone money, and so it's just he sits at a desk. Literally, I think he writes all those shows by himself. Like he doesn't have like a team of writers, so he's like a crazy person. So obviously, like his brain is turned into soup a little bit. But that being said, I've watched a good portion of a lot of those shows. Like I was into Landman for a little bit, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm kind of like go back to like making movies. That'd be great. That would be great.
You're
but
not really like Lioness.
I think I'm gonna start lying. That clip that goes viral every 2 weeks of Zoe Saldana being like, "I'm in charge of this base, and everybody should be fucking acting like it."
It's my fucking office now. She is doing such incredible work on that show, and it is not an easy show to do. She's very physical. She's getting her ass beat. She's beating the shit out of people. She's shooting big ass guns. She's doing raids. She's cussing out politicians. She kind of gets to do it all, and it's a lot of uppers in the performances. But man, she's just perfectly cast her role. Nicole Kidman is just great. Morgan Freeman. It's just great. It's just a great cast. It's just all-time military propaganda. But fuck yeah, brother, go America. That's how you're gonna feel watching this show.
I mean,
I'm not a very patriotic person, but you turn that shit on, you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna love America.
I mean, so was Top Gun, but I was right there. I've watched that movie, I think 12 times, that second movie. So we'll see. That has been a One Take Podcast. Quicker episode this week, but hopefully we'll be back soon. What is coming out soon? Something big is coming out relatively soon. I mean, I think once Tony comes out, except for like 3 theaters and like I said, on the East Coast, but something is coming out soon. I mean, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma is out there, and I kind of really want to watch that. It's actually in theaters and way too. Right now, the only thing out is like an Insidious movie, like a PG-13 Insidious movie, which
I saw that. I didn't see the movie, but I saw that it was out because I was at the theater last night.
I guess the Dog Stars comes out, which we're like in the bag for Ridley Scott, so maybe we'll have to go see the Dog Stars, which I'm like, I don't know, Jim. I don't know how I feel about about what that looks like, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that has been a One Take podcast. You can like, download, rate, subscribe, catch the videos early on YouTube if you're watching right now. Thank you so much. I'll just go ahead and say it. Or Tej, do you want to say it? Do you want to do the catchphrase?
Support Florence Pugh.
Support Florence Pugh. We will be back for Doomsday whenever that happens. November? Is that November? December. Oh shit. Okay, sure. People already killing each other for tickets on.
I got my tickets. I will be in the building. I'm going Dune first because I got to see that in 70mm IMAX, and that had to line up perfectly. And then I will be seeing Doomsday. It's going to be an incredible day.
Infinity Vision.
In Infinity Vision, baby.
Yeah,
it's going to be an incredible day. I cannot wait.
All right. That has been a One Take podcast. We will see you later.